What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have got the very first review of the Bad Batch on the channel, covering episode 1, which was just released a few hours ago. I will just say quickly before getting into the video, if you haven't seen the episode yet, then definitely head on over to Disney Plus and watch that first, as there will be some spoiler talk in this video, and I obviously don't want to spoil it for anyone before the very first episode. Now anyway, the episode started off in a way that I honestly did not expect, giving us a scene with Depa Billaba and her young Padawan by the name of Caleb. Now for those who don't know, this young Jedi is known as Caleb Doom, but he's also known by the name of Kanan Jarrus, as he actually changed his name after Order 66. So for those of you who missed that one, that was actually Kanan at the start of the episode, which I'd imagine most people probably know, but I actually kind of forgot his name was originally Caleb Doom, and it only clicked for me because I knew Depa Billaba was his master, so it was honestly a pretty easy thing to miss. Now this intro does slightly contradict the Kanan comics, which I've already seen a few people complaining about, which is fair enough really if you're really big on continuity and all that. Honestly, for me, I personally just couldn't care less. The story was about 5 or 10% different from the comics, and so it doesn't really bother me all that much. But yeah, I can definitely understand some people already being annoyed at that, but hopefully that small detail won't ruin the overall enjoyment of the show for those people. Now early on, one of the predictions that a lot of us made was confirmed to be true. Crosshair was acting very sus from the beginning, and throughout the course of the episode he does essentially defect from Clone Force 99, which is a pretty big element to the story, and even though it was almost expected by a lot of people, it was still interesting to watch that unfold, and I think that will be a pretty large part of the storyline throughout the rest of the series, having Crosshair being tasked with essentially wiping out the rest of his brothers. I actually really liked the way that they did it too, rather than him just sort of being a bit of a dick and changing sides for no real reason. It was great that he was kind of teetering on the edge because of his inhibitor chip, only for them to essentially increase the sensitivity of the chip to make him much more accepting of his orders. So yeah, I was actually pretty intrigued heading into it just how exactly he would defect, but I thought that was well done to at least give a bit more of a legitimate explanation than just having him randomly change sides. I also really liked that they did give a small explanation about the Bad Batch and their inhibitor chips, as that was obviously a big question leading into the series as well. We all knew that they weren't going to be affected, but it was definitely nice to hear exactly why they weren't affected. So again, just some nice touches there, kind of just dotting the I's and crossing the T's in the first episode, which I think was a good decision to set the story up moving forward. Now the next biggest question we had was to do with Omega. She was obviously made out to be different and sort of special from what we saw of her in the trailers, and although we didn't really learn all that much more about her in this episode other than what was already obvious, I think her character was set up well in order to have a little bit of mystery moving forward. She's essentially now confirmed to be the official 5th defective clone, since Echo technically isn't defective on purpose like the rest of the Bad Batch, and so it really comes down to what is actually special about her, which I'm sure will be a big plot point throughout the season, and they gave us a few small teasers to essentially dangle that carrot out in front of us and keep us hot on the trail. It was mentioned, I think, by Nala Se or maybe Lama Su, that she does have a heightened sense of awareness, which instantly gave me vibes that maybe she is actually Force sensitive after all, like a lot of people were predicting before the show started. I did call it in my prediction video that she was going to be special in one way or another, but that was a pretty broad statement to be honest, and I definitely wasn't game enough to call it that she would be Force sensitive. But yeah, after what we saw of her in episode 1, I definitely am a little bit more open to that idea now, and I'm probably starting to lean towards that being her special ability, since being an experimental clone, it's all but confirmed that there is something she will have that's completely unique from the rest of the clones and even from the Bad Batch as well. My prediction was that she was possibly just created with a genetically enhanced brain, which could honestly still be true, but yeah, I am slightly leaning towards Force sensitivity now, and I definitely can't wait to see where her story goes and just what exactly is so unique and special about her as a character. Now in terms of the smaller stuff, I thought the overall quality of the show was really solid and just another step up on the improvements that we saw in season 7 of the Clone Wars. The cinematography, the animation, the lighting, it all seemed really well done, and having just done a rewatch of the Clone Wars myself, it was pretty obvious just how drastic some of these differences were. Animated shows can sometimes be pretty hard to watch for me personally if they're a little bit lower quality or even just a bit older, so it was great that yet again they nailed that aspect, which I think will just make the entire series much more more enjoyable overall. One thing I also thought they did really well was the banter and the comedic touches throughout the show. That's obviously just a standard in Star Wars and sort of has been forever really, but sometimes it can either be overdone a little bit, especially in the animated shows, or sometimes it can even be lacking some light-hearted funny moments. And so I thought they did really well to have enough funny moments like Wrecker starting the food fight for example, but they also didn't overdo it, which I honestly thought could have been the case just judging from the trailers. Overall, I really did enjoy this first episode. If I had to score it, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10, and I cannot wait for episode 2, which will be coming out in only a few days since they are now moving to Friday episodes. Judging by what we saw at the end of the episode, where they mentioned one of their friends that they could go and visit, I'm assuming the next episode will show them meeting up with Rex like we saw in the trailer, but outside of that, I'm really not sure where the rest of the series is headed just yet, and I really am excited about that honestly. Sometimes with the animated shows, I feel like they can be a little bit too predictable, or even sometimes a bit cookie cutter, so it is exciting to have a new show that I honestly just have no idea about where it's heading whatsoever. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the Bad Batch premiere, as I'm very interested to hear everyone's thoughts on it. I will be doing these episode reviews each and every time we get a new episode, so keep your eyes peeled for more, and if you are new to the channel then be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss out on any upcoming Bad Batch content. I'd also love to know what additional content you guys would like to see on the channel surrounding the Bad Batch. If there are any specific types of videos that you guys want to see on the channel, then be sure to let me know down in the comments, as I'm obviously starting to head in a little bit of a new direction with the channel, and I'm always open to some ideas about the stuff that you guys want to see moving forward. That is going to do it for this one though guys. If you enjoyed the video then be sure to leave a like down below, and like I said, if you are new then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day and I'll catch you all in the next one.